KUGN News Talk 590. Good morning, everybody. I'm Storm Kennedy. My guest this morning is Monette, Animal Welfare Supervisor, in studio with us this morning for this version of CopTalk. Good morning, Molly. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you're the brand new Animal Welfare Supervisor. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Let us get to know you. Where are you from and how did you get this position? And what do you think about being the new Animal Welfare Supervisor?
Yeah. So I'm a native Oregonian. I graduated from Oregon State University.
Nice.
Yeah. Go Beavs. Most recently moved from Seattle. I have experience working with animals in a vet, zoo, shelter setting, and have also done some international animal welfare volunteer work.
Good for you. So did you graduate in the veterinary school up in OSU?
I started there, but
Okay.
I realized I wanted to do more rehabilitation than medicine.
Okay.
So my degree is in public health, and I've spent time working with veterans coming from homelessness in addition to doing animal welfare.
Wow, good for you. You have found your place, and we are so glad you are here,
Well,
right
thank
here
you.
in Eugene. Nice. And I learned a little bit off air from Molly, too, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, we want to talk about animal welfare supervisor. What's your responsibility as an animal welfare supervisor?
Yeah, so I have a variety of responsibilities. One of them will be overseeing our 2 animal welfare officers who are out in the community 7 days a week responding to a variety of calls from dogs at large to abuse and neglect to stray animals. That'll be part of my job, and I'll also be out in the community responding to those calls as well. I will be doing outreach just like this, promoting our licensing program, making sure that dogs in the city of Eugene are licensed, talking about health and safety, variety of things. Check us out on Facebook. I'm going to be posting regular updates on that in our Twitter account.
That's what we get from you graduating young people. Absolutely. Molly is definitely, well, I don't mean young, but you're, so much younger and coming into the force and being a social media person. It's really nice, especially when it comes to animal welfare, because we don't have a lot of funding to have. Like you said, there's 2 in the field. Those guys are awesome, by the way.
Yes, they are.
I have dealt with both of them with dogs in my life for quite a number of years. And one had to, help with a dog on the loose, and it was mine out in Crow one year. And then one had to help with a neighbor issue. My dog was barking and causing a nuisance in the neighborhood, and he came out and gave me some ideas of what to do. And do you guys still do that on a normal basis? If somebody has a problem in the neighborhood, they can just call you and you can come out, not to get us in trouble, but to help us.
Absolutely. And that'll be a lot of my role. The officers have a lot of calls that they're responding to, especially this time of the year. So we're trying our best to get out there and do outreach, exactly. Not come and be the bad guys, but just have a conversation and try to figure out the best so that the entire neighborhood and the community can enjoy it.
I was so nervous to call, but I knew I had to. And I love my neighbors and I didn't want my neighbors to be upset. And so I called, but I had a little fear around it. But you really don't have to. Oh my gosh, There was nothing scary about it. There was no shame on you or we're going to take your dog away or whatever. They help find solutions. So that's really cool. All right. So licensing. I got a notice in the mail. It is time to license. Where's your Eugene dog right now? Have you licensed your Eugene dog? I do that PSA. And yeah, you got to keep up on the licenses. So not only to be able to find your dog and not only to be able to make sure your dog's safe and sound, but also to help out the program. Can you talk about how important it is for licensing?
Yes, absolutely. It is a requirement for dogs in the city of Eugene to be licensed. It helps fund our programs and allows us to get animals back to their owners. Even with the best intentions, dogs get out, and we want to reconnect them as soon as possible. So licensing helps us identify that, and it also helps so that we can run a shelter and adopt dogs and cats out. So it's really important, and we really appreciate people following through with that. Some local vets will do licensing. You can do it online at petdata.com, and we also sell licensing at the police department on 300 Country Club.
So many easy ways to get your pet license. Just do it, folks. Oh my gosh, it's so important. And because it helps fund programs like what you're working on, like was it yesterday you rescued how many kittens?
Yeah, we rescued 9 pretty sick kittens that we're going to be able to, First Avenue Shelter is going to nurse back to health and adopt them out. So that, being able to do that is so rewarding.
Our Green Hill volunteer, he brings our pet of the week in every week, Eric, and he also works with First Avenue Shelter, was telling us that it is kitten season. It is time now. We're having a kitten shower at First Ave on the weekend, right?
Yes.
And so with rescues of kittens, so how does that happen? Does somebody call in and say we've got this litter that's not being cared for? Or
I mean, we have a really large feral cat population in the city of Eugene, and there's information on our website. Green Hill does a trap and release program where they will spay or neuter feral cats. And so whenever we can get kittens and rehabilitate them as much as we can and get them out, they're adoptable at that age, that's great. And so if we receive calls about sick or injured cats, we will go out and do our best to get them the help that they need.
And you do spay and neuter them?
Yes. All
Nice.
dogs and cats that are adopted out through Green Hill or First Avenue are spayed or neutered.
All right, now we got to get to the important part before we let you go. Hot dogs and cars. Safety tips for this time of year. So important. And when you said hot dogs, I'm like, what? They love hot dogs. Well, there's something to know from the animal welfare specialist herself. Molly, take it away.
Yes. So, we've had a few hot days and we're approaching a really hot, dry, and long summer. So we want to remind people, as much as you love running errands with your dogs, and we know dogs love going on errands, we're asking people to leave them home this summer on hot days. Even with best intention, rolling down the window, parking in the shade, running air conditioning before you get there, it's not enough. That 10-minute stop at the grocery store, it always takes longer than 10 minutes, but within 10 minutes, the temperature inside the car raises 20 degrees. So today we're going to have a high of 81, and that's going to hit over 100 degrees within 10 minutes. So, that within 6 minutes, a dog can experience heat stroke and even die. So we have animal welfare officers and also police officers that can respond to citizens' concerns if they see a dog in distress in a hot car. You can call the Animal Services line at 687-4060 or dial 911 if you have concerns about a dog in distress.
She is Molly Monette, the animal welfare supervisor. Molly, thanks for your time this morning. Real quick, a couple of seconds left to talk about how hot dogs are not safe for our pets.
Yes. No.
They're not, right?
No. Stick to dog food.
Stick to dog food. Don't go with the hot dogs, folks. Molly, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
You bet, and welcome to Eugene.
Thank you.
We are KUGN News Talk 590. No worries traffic-wise. Weather's absolutely gorgeous. Molly already gave us the forecast, 81 in the sunshine. And here's Gary Conley on KUGN News Talk 590.